my mind is agitated, I keep focusing outside of me. Experience, experience, experience. As I become quieter, I start focusing on the experiencing. So for example, I'm really mad right now, I start focusing on the experience, the water. If I'm a little bit more quiet, I appreciate the experience of drinking the water. And if my mind is truly quiet, I can start focusing on who I am. Who's drinking that water? Who's the one that's absorbing that water? How often do you and I think about who we are? We study other people's bodies, we study other subjects, we study possessions, but whose are these possessions? Whose body is this? Who is the experiencer? We know everything in the world about the experience. Man has gone to the moon and keeps on going to different planets. Who knows where we've reached now? The Hubble telescope is taking pictures of places we'll never get to in a lifetime. But who is the one that's actually seeing that? It's not the eyes, because if you cut out my eyes and put it in my hand, like in that movie Pan's Labyrinth, excellent movie, right? That doesn't mean anything. Who's the one that is seeing? Who's the one that is hearing? Kena Upanishad. Anyone who studied Kena Upanishad? Kena Upanishad. Best Upanishad in my opinion. Very simple, simple message. What is the eye of the eye? What is the ear of the ear? What is the mind of the mind? We hear, but who's hearing? We see, but who's seeing? We think. Who's thinking? If the mind is thinking, it's not the mind. If we think the mind is thinking, there has to be a different entity. There has to be someone using the mind. There has to be an agent behind that. Upadesha Vivekji is another fantastic text that perhaps we'll study one day. It starts off like this. Upadesha Vivekji. Drig is the seer, Drisha is the see. Viveka is discrimination. The pen is seen, the eyes are the seer. So, they are different. The seen and the seer are different, correct? Pen is seen, eyes are different. Okay. Then, when I wake up, my eyes are itchy or dry or whatever. So I know my eyes. Who knows that the eyes are itchy or clean or whatever? It's my mind. Eyes are different, mind is different. Seer, see. I know my thoughts. I'm peaceful, I'm agitated, I'm happy, I'm sad. Who knows those thoughts? Whoever it is different from those thoughts. But you and I say, anger comes, I am angry. Jealousy comes, I am jealousy. But the fact that we know it means that we can't be those thoughts. It's not possible. The seen and the seer can never be the same. They have to be different. The object and the subject have to be different. And it's so interesting because when I hold this pen, I say, yes, I'm not this pen because I can see it. But then I put my hand in front of me and I see my hand, but no, now the rules change. Now that it applies then. It's a law of convenience. If it's convenience, I'm a Vedanta. When it's not convenience, what Vedanta? What principles? That's like me saying, sometimes I believe in gravity and sometimes I don't. And some Rishi's like, yeah, that's how I live. Right? I would be a mad person then. But this is what we're doing with our lives. When we just focus on the seen, that's what we start believing we are. 95% of the commercials that we see on the radio, listen to on the radio, see on TV, read in magazines, are for products for the body or services for the body. Makeup, clothing, foods, detergents, and on and on and on. Coke, right? Just everything is geared towards the body. Everything is making us more and more body conscious. When you go to the gym, there's mirrors everywhere. And people that are in shape. Why don't they have pictures of clouds? Why don't they have a picture of nature? Right? It's just encouraging that body consciousness. That's when we see it, and we just start believing this is all that we are. very fascinating. Like I said, those people who are business people in the audience right now, these are all lessons to take to your workplace, to brainwash us some more so we buy what you're trying to sell us. Right? This is a huge advantage. We had the chicks that I was telling you about that are joining the Vedanta course in August. One of them, both of them are marketing directors. And she was saying that I can't work in this position anymore because I'm using, my abilities to make people buy things that are not good for them. She works for Dairy Milk, Cadbury. And it hurts her to, go out there and sell this product that's not good for people. But she's so good at it because I feel it's a lot of this knowledge. She understands the way people think. She understands the way she thinks. So the same way, we're just geared to becoming more and more body conscious. But if we focus on the seer, we will start realizing that we are that seer. See, listen to the words, realize, even though alize is not a real word, but that rediscover, realize, enlightenment. It's already there. The seer is experiencing every experience. We don't acknowledge that. There's another good story related to this. This one father had, back in the day, he was a king, and he had 2 identical sons. And as he was aging, he needed to give up his kingdom to one of the sons. But they're identical. So usually it's tradition to give it to the older son. But who to give it to? So he thought to himself that whichever son is more intelligent will naturally be the better king. He will take care of the kingdom more effectively. So he went about devising a plan to figure out which son is more intelligent. So he had an idea. Each of these sons had an identical palace, mansion. So he called both of the sons and said, I'm going to give both of you 1,000 gold coins. And whichever of you can fill up your palace more will become the next king. When I tell this story to Balavar students, they all think, how did they carry the gold coins? So, the gold coins are in a bag, okay? So the father, he gives both sons the 1,000 gold coins in a bag, and the one son immediately takes off to the marketplace. And he gets there, and he starts looking around to see what he can do to fill up his mansion. And when he looks around, what does he see is most abundant? He sees garbage. Right? People outside of their homes, outside of their stores, people take out their garbage. And he thought to himself, this is free too, I can just take it. So here's the prince of that community, of that kingdom, taking people's garbage, the citizens' garbage, and dragging it to his palace, and chucking it into his palace. And he's doing this, and the citizens, this happened in India, so they are very entrepreneurial. So they see, hey, why don't we charge him for this garbage? So they started charging the prince for their garbage. Gold coin for a bag of garbage. So now the prince is paying people for their garbage. And he's collecting all this garbage, and he's filling up his mansion. He exhausts those 1,000 gold coins, and calls his father. Very confidently that he filled up his mansion. So the father comes, the brother comes with him too. And they see outside of the palace all of the banana peels and the cloth and all the streaks, and it smells, and they walk into the palace and they're appalled by how dirty it is, but that's not part of the contest. So they look around and they see that there's a lot of garbage in that palace. So the son was very confident. The other brother, when he was given these gold coins, sat down and he thought. He reflected, he looked within, that he too went to the marketplace. He gets to the marketplace, and with those 1,000 gold coins, he buys as many candles as he can. He takes those candles, he goes back to his palace, and he starts putting the candles everywhere. Bathrooms, bedrooms, stairwells, everywhere. And he calls his father, and the other brother came too. And he said, I've done what you've asked me to do. And the father walked in and looked around, and the candles took up some space, but not nearly as much space as the other brother, who had garbage everywhere. So he's about to say that the other brother was going to be king, and the other brother was about to jump in joy. The brother stopped the father, the son stopped the father and said, I didn't fill up my palace with candles. And he took a match and he started lighting all of those candles. I filled up my palace with light. And that light pervaded every corner, every facet. See, garbage can't get in the corners. And so, that brother was given the kingdom. Why I'm saying this is that the first brother, gold coins, immediately thought about buying something outside. The other brother, he too sought to buy something, but first he looked inside. He went to the experiencer. He saw the light within, and then chose to fill that light outside.